Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Marisa Kazem, and today I'm going to be showing you my January setup in my 2022 bullet journal. So before I get into this video, I just wanted to say hi and welcome to all of you who have just recently joined my channel. My subscribers doubled from my last video, and I'm very grateful and excited to have you all here for my videos this coming year. So, for the entire year of 2022, I've been trying to think of what themes I would like to do for each month, and it came to my attention that there are 12 official Disney princesses. Now I know that kind of seems random, but I am a huge Disney princess fan, and I love all the different elements that you see in the movies, and I thought if there are 12 official princesses, then I could do one Disney princess per month, and so I decided to start off January with a Snow White theme. So my plan is basically to draw elements, scenes, and objects from the films themselves. I don't really want to paint a princess every month and paint all of the characters. That's a lot of work and a lot of sketching, and I'd rather spend more time focusing on the other aspects that make up the entire movie. And so that's why I thought I would start off by painting the dwarf's cottage. So before I get into this painting, I just want to tell you guys who are the official Disney princesses. They are Snow White, Cinderella, Aurora, Ariel, Belle, Jasmine, Pocahontas, Mulan, Tiana, Rapunzel, Merida, and Moana. So Anna and Elsa are not official Disney princesses. Neither are Esmerelda, Kida, Jane, Alice, Tinkerbell. All of those characters are not princesses. It's only the official ones. And if you're wondering why Anna and Elsa are not considered official Disney princesses, it's mainly because Disney makes money off of them as their own franchise, and they're basically too rich to be associated with the regular princesses. So, for my 12 months, I'm just going to do the official Disney princesses. I'm not planning on doing them in order. I just really wanted to do Snow White as the first month because she is the first official Disney princess, and her movie just seems to suit January for me anyway. Anyway, sorry, now let me finally talk about this painting. So, the original painting is by Thomas Kincaid, and it's a whole scene of Snow White finding the cottage, but I just wanted to do a very simple watercolor version from a close-up angle of the dwarf's cottage. I'm very impressed with this painting by myself because this is technically the first official watercolor painting I have ever done, and I'm doing it on bullet journal paper, which isn't the easiest to paint on, and I don't know anything about watercolor. You're gonna see me make so many mistakes in this video because I don't know how to use watercolor. I'm used to thick oil paints and acrylic, and watercolor is just a whole new world for me, and I find it very difficult to work with. But I think this painting came out really well. It's detailed enough, but not as detailed as the original painting is, and I just love the colors, I love the scene, and I just think it screams Snow White to me, like it screams what her world looks like. And on the left here, I just have a simple quote page that says, "What a wonderful thought it is that some of the best days of our lives haven't happened yet," and that is by Anne Frank. And I just thought that was a beautiful quote to start off the year. Instead of those like classic corny New Year quotes, I just found that this one is very inspiring to start off the new year, especially given that I've had a very rough 2021. If you're new to my channel, my dad passed away in February of 2021, so I have had a horrible year, and I'm hoping for some kind of better anything in this new year. So I thought that that quote was very fitting. So on to my next spread. This is my calendar and my monthly goals page, and it's pretty much the same layout that I've been doing previously, except instead of just having a column to write my goals, I decided to have columns underneath that also have action steps, because I find it very difficult to meet goals without having a plan to achieve them. So for example, one goal that I've been trying to do for myself, which I'm terrible at, is going to bed by 10:30. I could literally stay up till 2 in the morning doing nothing, and I want to get better at sleeping. So I thought in my personal goals section, I'll draw a symbol like a triangle, and I'll write down bed by 10:30. And then in the column beneath it, I'll use the triangle to show that I'm talking about that goal. And then I'll write down my action steps for how I'm going to get myself to go to bed on time instead of just wishing for it every month. And I'm going to see if this works out. I'll let you guys know in my next month's video if this setup is working for me. But I think it's better than just writing down the same goals every month. That seems to not be working for me. So for this spread, I decided to paint the diamond mine that the dwarfs go to when they go to work every day. And I envisioned it looking a little bit different in my head. Like I said, I have no idea how to use watercolor, and I think the issue was that I kept adding white watercolor paint, and I don't think that works so well on bullet journal paper, or maybe it just doesn't work well for what I was trying to create. I initially wanted these rocks to look darker, but it's fine. I ended up making some blurry looking rock, and it kind of looks like the diamonds are embedded in the rock a bit more. And then I just went on top with some white ink and added some sparkles, and it's good enough for me. It definitely doesn't look how I imagined it, but it still gives me the vibes of the diamond mine that the dwarves were in, and all the shiny diamonds and the little cart as well, so it doesn't matter. Definitely not my most colorful spread, but I do really like how it turned out anyway. So my next spread is my positivity log and mood tracker, and I decided to draw the magic mirror as my mood tracker and color in the smoke for each day of the month. And I initially wasn't going to draw his face because technically he is a character and I'm trying to avoid drawing characters, but it kind of looked like it was missing without his face. I mean, without his face, he's just a plain old mirror. Like, him in the mirror is what makes him a magic mirror, so I thought I'd draw the face in there. But basically I'm going to color each stripe of smoke like every day of the month, and that will be my mood tracker, which I thought was really fun. And it also gave me more time to practice with the watercolor, especially on his face, because I had to blend the greens with the purple and a bit of the yellow, and then I had to put a bit of blue on his nose. And yeah, blending watercolor is definitely easier than blending Tombow pens, but I still found it a bit challenging. And then this right here is the box that the queen asks the huntsman to put Snow White's heart in, and I just had to include it because literally the queen shows this box to the magic mirror, and that's when he tells her that there's a pig's heart inside of it instead of Snow White's. So this next spread is my habit tracker and weight tracker, and when I tell you that I failed at watercolor, that is literally what I mean. You might have briefly seen the mess that I had created in my bullet journal, and I just decided, nope, I am not sticking with that. It looked like a poop smudge on my journal and I was not having it. So I took some extra bullet journal paper, cut it out to the size that I needed, and I re-sketched the trees that I was planning on doing. This is meant to be the bridge that the dwarfs cross when they're singing their hi-ho song when they're on their way home. And I definitely made it look different how the cartoon does, because initially I tried to make it look very dark because in the cartoon there's a lot of shadows, but like I said, I ended up creating a poop smudge and I was not going to have that in my journal. So I did a much lighter, washed out version because I have no idea how to use watercolor, and I really liked this version a lot more. You'll see in a second when I go to cover up how terrible the original one was, and there was nothing I could do to save it. I mean, I technically could have layered gouache paint on top to try and cover up the dark mess, but I practiced the trees again on another piece of paper, and I really liked this more faint method that I tried, so I ended up just doing that and then sticking it in on the journal, and that just worked beautifully. It's almost like you can't even tell I stuck paper over it. I was afraid that it would be very thick because this is 160 GSM paper glued to another 160 GSM paper, but you can't really tell even when you're flipping through the pages. So if you ever make a mistake this bad like I did, you can do this too and it will work out just fine. I don't really know how clear it is that this is the bridge from Snow White, but for me it's pretty clear. I have watched this movie a million times over, and when I see a lone bridge like that made of a tree, it instantly makes me think of Snow White. So my next spread is my finances page and my brain dump page. Now I have never done a finances page before, but my situation in my life is changing a little bit and I feel like I really need to track my finances. So I thought I would just have a small section for income, restaurants, shopping, bills, and subscriptions. I feel like those are the things I want to keep track of, like the things I'm spending. And yeah, I just thought I'd try it for this month. I kept it very simple, and I'll let you guys know if I like using it next month. But anyway, onto this drawing. This is Snow White's castle, and I just had to draw this somewhere. Her castle is beautiful, just as many of the other castles are, and I didn't know where to put it at first, and then I thought my brain dump page would be perfect because nothing would be in the way of this castle. Also, you guys might have seen in my previous videos, I tend to call this an idea board, but instead of calling this page an idea board, I decided to go with the traditional brain dump and see if that helps me use it more, because I love being able to write things down here, but sometimes I feel like it has to be an idea in order for me to write it down. So I decided to go with the traditional brain dump label. So by the time I got to this painting in the journal, I felt like I understood how to use watercolor a bit more. The only thing that made me kind of sad is that right after I finished painting this castle, which I thought came out beautifully, I went and outlined everything again with my 003 Pigma Micron fineliner, and I regret doing it because it made the drawing look very bold and I really liked how washed out it looked. But I've learned my lesson for next time. As you can see right now, I'm literally going over it with the pen and it makes it look very bold, and it's not bad, I just preferred it before I did that. But I really love the way I did the shadows and the highlights with this painting. I love the shadow on the side of the castle and how I continued that on the trees as well. And I think I'm learning how to use watercolor better just by doing this whole setup. So this next spread is my productivity log, and basically for all 31 days I track the different things I do throughout the day that take up my time. It's not a very structured thing at all, I'm very loose with how I use it, but I decided instead of tracking my relaxing hours, I'm going to track my health habits instead, because I thought that would make this spread a little bit more useful. My normal categories are relax, sleep, exercise, and productivity, but when I'm showering or cooking or food shopping or cleaning, those things are not relaxing, and I don't want to consider them productive time either because those are chores that I have to do. So I thought I'd add the label health habits, and I can highlight when I'm doing health habit related things throughout the month as well. Anyway, onto this drawing. This is the wishing well that Snow White makes her wish at, and I just thought it was so beautiful and I wanted to draw it in here. It's very small, but it came out just as cute as I wanted it to. So now I'm onto my weekly setup, and I am going to show you guys how I set up all 4 weeklies, but I'm only going to show this weekly part once because they're all the same. Basically, I've created a Dutch door. Some of them are going to be Dutch doors that I cut, and some of them are going to be Dutch doors that I attach because I want to fit all 6 months in this journal, and I calculated the amount of pages, and basically if there are 4 weeks in every month, I can't do all of them as Dutch doors to make it fit. So for half of them I'm cutting Dutch doors and half of them I'm taping Dutch doors in. But this spread also, I'm including the Saturday and Sunday, which are the 1st and 2nd of this month. So if you noticed, I added a mini Dutch door for the next weekend, which is the 8th and the 9th, to fit on this weekly spread as well. And this is the same as I did last month. I have my meals tracker on the side. I tried that out last month and I absolutely loved using it. And it really helps me organize myself better with planning and cooking. So meal tracker is now included in my weekly, and I still have room for a little quote every week. So for each week of this month, I painted something different. On this first week, I painted the animals that come to see Snow White when she first runs into the forest and she's all alone. I thought they looked so cute, and I literally copied them from the movie. I just put them in a different order so that it would fit the style of the page better. But this is exactly how the animals look like in the movie, and I wanted to copy them exactly for the journal. So on to my next weekly, you can see I'm adding a Dutch door this time instead of cutting one, so that way I can save more with my pages and make them all fit. And for this weekly, I decided to do the scary forest that she runs into. I loved that big tree and the eyes that are staring at her. I always remember that scene from when I was a kid, and I thought it was so colorful and bright and amazing. And so I decided to draw that myself. And painting this tree here, I'm very proud of myself with the watercolor. Again, I'm terrible at watercolor, but this painting really helped me practice a bit more with blending and how many times you want to stroke a piece of color over, and making sure the page is not too wet or too dry. Like, this painting of this tree really helped me figure that out. And I love how it looks. Like, I know some people might think that is a really ugly thing to have on your weekly spread, but I genuinely love how it looks. It's colorful, it makes me think of the movie, and I got to practice watercolor even more. So yeah, I really like that weekly. So for this weekly, I decided to do the bookshelf and some of the items that are in the Queen's lair underground. I did the bookshelf exactly the way it looks in the movie, and same with the other objects. The crow was sitting on a skull that was on top of another book, and her potion was green, and the poison apple. And I just love this page as well. I loved how spooky her little lair was. And I know they're coming out with a live-action Snow White, and I really hope that there is some background information about her, because the evil queen has so much weird stuff in her lair. Like, if you pay attention to the movie, there's so much there. There's so many skeletons. Like, I want to know what this queen has been up to. And I don't know, I feel like this page with all her stuff is just like, you're in her lair, you're in her little world as you're filling out your weekly. And I just thought it looks really cute and really fun. And I also love how the crow turned out. I was very scared to go in with black watercolor, but it turned out nice, I think. So this is the last weekly for this month, and again I'm attaching that Dutch door, and I decided to draw the grumpy pie that Snow White makes and the apple basket that the evil queen brings her. Like, she's literally baking this pie for Grumpy, and she doesn't actually get to bake it for him. Like, she literally just finishes preparing it, and then the queen shows up at her window with the basket of apples. So I thought this was a nice way of drawing it and creating this scene without drawing Snow White and without drawing the queen herself. And the little animals make it very cute, and I love the look of that pie. The pie in the movie is not baked yet, so it's like a very pale cream color, but I decided to paint it as if it was a baked pie because I think it just looks so much better. But otherwise I kept the colors the same as much as I could. I even tried to color code the apples to look correct to how it was in the movie as well. And we're finally onto the last spread of this setup. This is my monthly check-in and monthly review page. Basically, for the monthly check-in, I fill it out twice a month, and the monthly review page I fill out at the end. And I just wanted to do some simple doves on this page because in the beginning of the movie, she sings to a bunch of doves, and I thought it was very cute and simple to do for this last page. So now we're at the final flip through. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you are still here all the way at the end of this video, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. There was a lot of painting and a lot of mistakes to get through in this video. So if you could handle watching all this way, I'm very grateful. Let me know in the comments which was your favorite spread, which is your least favorite. Go ahead and subscribe if you like this kind of content and leave a like on this video as well. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, enjoyed the paintings. And I guess we'll see which princess I do next month because I'm not planning on doing them in order. So if you want to see, definitely subscribe and I'll see you guys in the next one.